Hey, welcome to the second part of our tutorial. In the previous one, you learned how to start using MDB by downloading the zip file, and in this video I'm going to show you more advanced setup, which also offers you more features. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so this time, instead of downloading the zip file, we're gonna use MDB CLI to initiate our project. So navigate to mdbootstrap.com/CLI, and if you don't have MDB CLI installed yet, then you can do it by running this command. Now, one prerequisite here is that you need to have Node.js installed. So if you don't have anything yet, start with Node.js. So navigate to nodejs.org, download the latest version for your platform. In my case, it's Windows, and simply install it. I'm not gonna do it because I already have it on my computer. If you don't have it, just stop the video here, install and continue. Okay, you have a Node.js now, so what you have to do is simply open a command line or terminal or any other command interface on your computer and run this command. So npm install -g mdb CLI. If I'm gonna do it here, it's gonna reinstall me the newest version. So let's do it. Let's wait until it's gonna install the newest version. Once it's installed, the only thing which you need to start using it is a free account at mdbootstrap.com. So if you have account already, then you can just simply log in, MDB login, and provide your username and password. If you don't have it, you can register a new account by either typing MDB register, and it's gonna guide you through the registration, or simply, if I open incognito window, then I will be able to see this login option here, and then you have register and you can create your free account. Okay, so you have MDB CLI, you are logged in, so let's start building our application. So I want to create this project here in this location. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go change this directory here, change directory, and then paste it, and now I'm gonna type mdb init, and I will choose MDB5 standard version and hit enter. This is gonna create us a new folder, MDB5 free standard. Let's open this folder and let's open this in Visual Studio Code. So basically, I'm using Visual Studio Code. You can use actually any text editor which you like. So we have MDB over here. Now I'm gonna open this project by clicking this Go Live, which gonna open my page in a web browser. So this is starting page. Obviously, if you don't have it, if you don't know how to use live server, don't worry. What you can do, you can simply double click on the index.html, and that's also gonna open this up. What's the advantage of using live server is basically that you don't need to refresh page every time. So let me show you an example. Every time I change something here, so let's just remove this MDB theme. And as you can see, my page just got refreshed automatically. In case of just opening the file, you have to hit refresh button manually. So I'm leaving this up to you, what you want to do and how you want to use it. I strongly encourage you to use this live server. If you don't know how to do it, how to install it, just simply go to extensions and type live server. Now, here you can install it. By the way, important note. If you don't know how to install Node.js, if you don't know how to install npm, we do have separate tutorial for that, and you're gonna find link to this tutorial in the description of this video down below. So don't worry if you have any issues, just check the description. You're gonna find a more detailed version and more detailed tutorials for many other subjects, which I'm gonna slightly touch in this video. Okay, our setup is ready, so we are ready to start building our application. So we're gonna build a page today. So let's start with setting up a basic setup. By basic setup, I mean that I'm gonna get rid of everything which is here. So between start your project and end your project, and I'm gonna start with this setup. I'm gonna call it header, and press tab. Now you can see that I just magically created a header opening and closing tag. This is because I'm using Visual Studio Code, which has emmet built in. If you don't have it, don't worry, you just simply type your main opening and closing. Again, mine was closed automatically, but if it doesn't work for you, don't worry, you can just simply type it. And footer, and again, it's happened automatically, but you can just do it yourself by typing the full opening and closing tag. Now let's do some cleanup here, and let's navigate to mdbootstrap.com so we could use our docs now. We're gonna start with Navbar. So let's search for Navbar, and you can see multiple examples over here. And then again, we have Navbar tutorial, which will explain you more in details all these different options which MDB offers you. And you can also have check other examples over here. So you have predefined navbars which you can use. I'm gonna stick with the basic example, so keep it simple. I'm gonna get this basic example, I'm gonna copy this code, and I'm gonna paste it within a header, and let's see how our page looks like now. And I lost my window, so let's open it again. So this is our navbar, as you can see. Now let's make it a little bit more narrowed. So I'm gonna change this container from container fluid, which is taking full width, to just a container, and let's see what's gonna happen. Now you can see we have margins from both sides. If you want to learn more, because this is the part of the grid, check another tutorial, link in the description, obviously, which is like fully dedicated to grid system which Bootstrap uses. Now, just few more words about navbars. You can change, for example, color here. So if I'm gonna use BG primary or secondary, it's gonna change the entire color. Let's switch it back to light. Or actually even white. Okay, so I have this one here. By the way, if we're talking about colors, let's navigate to colors. And here you can learn more about colors, Bootstrap and MDB colors. So you have these predefined colors like primary, secondary, success, and so on. The whole concept behind colors is that usually when you create a project, you have like set of colors, like primary color, secondary color. So you can use these classes like primary, secondary, and then when you change the value, so in this case, primary is like blue, secondary is violet, this is green, but you can change it, right? So if you want to apply some different scheme, you can just change it and your entire site will change, right? So you don't need to change a specific color, you just use primary, secondary through all of the elements, and then you can just adjust the colors globally for them. Okay, so we have our navbar. Now let's move to our main part. So within our main part, which is here, I'm gonna use grid now. Again, another tutorial description down below, like totally dedicated to Bootstrap grid. So I'm just gonna create container. You already seen this in a navbar. Now I'm gonna create a row, and I'm gonna create two columns. So call MD5 and call MD7. Let's call it left and right. And let me show you that. All right. So what it does, it creates us this row over here. Let's check this one in inspector. So let's see. This is container with margins, the orange margins from the left and the right. Then we have a row without margins, and then we have columns left and the right. What happens if we shrink the screen? Boom. At certain size, they just gonna stack one below the other. So this is how responsiveness works in Bootstrap, and this is like the subject for another tutorial which we made for you already. So if you want to learn more about it, just check this tutorial. And I'm gonna continue now. Let's add something to our left and right column. So how about something like this? I'm gonna type hover effect to show you what MDB offers. And yeah, hover effects is this, like, you know, if you hover over the image or something else, it doesn't necessarily have to be image, it's gonna give you this nice effect. So let's copy this one. And by the way, you can click on it and you have this nice wave, so-called wave effect, which is called ripple effect as well. So let me copy this one and let you paste in the left column here. So this is here. You can easily change color. So here you can change the color. It's set to light. I can change it to primary. Again, you remember primary colors, and now it's blue. Secondary was violet, right? I'm gonna stick to light. Now it's a little bit tight over here. We're gonna take care about of spacing in a few seconds. Now let's talk a little bit about this ripple effect, because if you want to learn more about it, go to ripple documentation, and you can use this ripple effect on different elements, components. So here we have on the button by default, and you can add it to any other elements. So just read more about it here in the documentation. Let's move to the to our right column, and let's go to typography. So Bootstrap and MDB offers you a lot of typography classes, which are responsive by default. So let's what does it mean? Let's do something like this, right? Let's create h1 my awesome heading. And now let's have a look at what's going to happen if I'm going to shrink the screen. As you can see, it becomes smaller. So it adapts to our screen size. The bigger screen, the bigger the font is. So this is the responsiveness, and this is how it works. Let's add some content. Let's add lorem30. Again, this is the Visual Studio Code. I just type lorem30. I press tab, and emmet abbreviation will give me 30 words, which is cool. Now let's add some line, and let's another paragraph with 30 lorem ipsum words. So this is how it looks right now. So what we can do, or what we're gonna do actually, we're gonna add the two classes to this paragraph. So what I'm doing right now, I'm holding my Alt key, I'm clicking here and here. So I have something called multi-cursor. Now if I press space and start typing, I will be typing in two places at once. And I'm doing this because I want to add text muted to our paragraph, so it will change. It's gonna change the font of this paragraph, so this will increase the visibility of the heading, which is the most important part. So this is nice styling effect, nice styling tree. So now let's move to spacing. And yeah, I mean, for the typography, just check another examples. So you have different inline text elements over here, display classes, notes, warnings, block quotes, and so on and so on. So it's huge amount of possibilities of varieties, and you can work with shadows, animations, figures, and so on. And we're gonna cover all of that in the next tutorials, but I already strongly encourage you just to go through the docs and see what you can actually do with it. Spacing. Let's move to spacing now. The spacing utilities allows us to work with margins and paddings. So it's quite simple, right? It basically says like M for margin, P for padding, and then we have like T, B, S, E. So this is top, bottom, start. It used to be left, and then end, it used to be right. And you have also axes like X and Y. So X will work in X axis, which means both start and the end, or left and the right, and the Y will work in the top and the bottom. So let me give you an example. This is too close to each other. I mean, navbar is touching this part. So let's add to our main margin Y5, which is gonna give us, oh, obviously it will be, probably it will work whether if I use class correctly. And now this is gonna give me this spacing over here. We're gonna play with the spacing a little bit more once we add more components. And talking about components, let's now move to buttons. So very useful component. So we have buttons over here. Again, you already hopefully see this. We have these different colors, primary, secondary. So let's pick up this one and let's put it here. So I have one button, and let's use the other one. We have outline, right? So we can see the difference, and they all have this ripple effect. So I'm gonna get this one now. Okie dokie, and now we have them next to each other. So what we're gonna do, you already know, we're gonna add margin and let's say 3, and this is gonna give us this kind of small spacing, so they are not too close to each other. Again, many options for the buttons, rounded, stacked, icons, with icons. And talking about icons, let's move to icons documentation. So MDB 5 offers you like this 1500 awesome free icons, font awesome icons. Yeah, let's search for something like shopping cart. Just click on it, and here you have a code. I'm gonna copy this one, and we can paste it here. And now this is gonna give us this icon over here, and we can say something like add to cart and details, and boom, you already have this kind of landing card ready for your page. Okay, let's add some more content here. So what we can add here, let's add another row. So we had this column here. This is the left one, this is the right one, this is the row. So let's add another row, and I'm gonna add call MD for, as you might notice, usually when we talk about the sizes, we should sum up to 12. So 5 plus 7 gives 12. Now I want to have 3 same columns. So if it's 12 divided by 3, it's gonna give me like size of 4. So I want to have 4 calls multiplied by 3. This is emmet again. I'm pressing the tab, and I'm getting 3 columns here, 1 2 3. And now let's move, let's pick up card. So I want to use card. Again, multiple examples. I'm looking for card with image, but actually image with this ripple effect. So I'm gonna copy this code, and now I'm using multi-cursor again. So I want to paste it here, here, and here. So I'm pressing Alt and clicking here and here. I'm gonna press enter. It's gonna give me enter in all lines, paste, save, and voila, we have cards. Obviously, we need to work on spacing like we did before, but let me also quickly work on some images here. So I just prepared myself some images before, so let me use this one. It's 111, this is 112, and this was 110. Oh, what a surprise, 3. Okay, so I updated this images over here. So let's add this spacing over here. And then again, what we can do, obviously we can add this spacing either to our new row, which is here. So we could do like margin Y3, or we could do margin Y5, right? Or we can get rid of this one, and we can add this to the row above. So this is the row, so we can do margin bottom 5, and that's gonna give us pretty much same effect. Now let's stop here for a second. Let's talk about spacings. I'm gonna use gutters. So I'm gonna add this class GX5, which is gonna give me some spacing in the x-axis. Let me do it like this so you could see the difference. So before here and after. So this gives this spacing between columns, and there are more again, just navigate to the tutorial regarding grid, Bootstrap grid, where you're gonna find more information on that. Okay, now let's add some footer. So let's go to footers. And we have few predefined examples here. So these are basic ones. So these are a really good starting point for if you would like to, you know, take it and adjust it somehow to your needs. But I also would like to show you that if you click on this examples and customization, you're gonna go to another section when we have like 25 different options predefined. There are more advanced different options with icons, without icons. You also have a tutorial here dedicated to footers, right? So I strongly encourage you to check this one so you know how to adjust it. And even more, many MDB components, they have builder ready for you. So you have this builder over here where you can simply design your footer as you like. So you want, for example, just the copyrights and the social media. Yeah, that's fine. You have just social media and the copyrights. If you want everything, that's fine. Just click on it. You can change the alignment. You can reset everything. I'm gonna use this one, but I'm going to use this grayish, a little bit darker, not white, but a little bit lighter, or actually darker, this grayish one, so it a bit stands out from the background. I'm gonna copy this one and I'm gonna paste it into footer section. Let's see how it looks now. So this is our project. Now let's do one more thing. So let's change the background color of our body, so our elements will basically be more visible. So I'm gonna go back to body. Where is body? Main body. So class, and I'm gonna use background light. So this is a really small change, but this is like making this images and cards more visible. Yeah, so we could also obviously work more on that, add some more spacing over here and so on, but these are minor changes. So I would like to just show you two more things. So the first one is deployment. I'm going to show you how to deploy this project using MDB CLI. Simply type MDB publish, and this is gonna publish our project with the default values. So since we initialize the project with MDB CLI, MDB init, so it already has initialized it as this starter project. So it has this name, like this predefined name, MDB5. If we go here, you're gonna see this that our page is available here. It's secured with SSL. Now, if you would like to change this address or the project name, simply go to package.json and change this name over here to something like MDB5 getting started demo, let's say, and do MDB publish again. And this will change our domain. So now it's available at this domain. So this is number one. Number two is that you can find our Visual Studio Code snippet. So if you navigate to this page, you're gonna find the link in the description down below. So if you're using Visual Studio Code like I'm doing, you can then install our extension from either the GitHub or VSC page. So you can search for MDB5 standard snippets and install it. So if you go to Marketplace, MDB5 standard snippets, you should be able to see this one over here, and then you can install it. What it does, it allows you to start typing these snippets without knowing them, right? So if we are here, let's say that somewhere here in the column we want to add some card over here, so you just type MDB card, and this will give you this snippet for the card. So let's check this out. So this added this card over here for us. And finally, I was supposed to tell you about two things. I'm going to tell you one more extra. If you go to MDB GO.com, you can log in with the same username and the same password you've been using for mdbootstrap.com, so the same we've used for CLI. And here under the project tabs, you're gonna find your project list of all your project databases. I'm gonna show you how to use databases, because MDB GO allows you to host both PHP, Node.js, so the backend projects, and databases like MySQL, MongoDB. But what I mean to say is that if you go to manage tab of your directory of your project and go to repository, you can also create repository. So each your project can have its own Git repository. So you're gonna keep track of all the changes you are making into your project, and you never gonna miss anything because you accidentally removed something. That's it for this tutorial. I strongly encourage you to check the next tutorials, because we're gonna learn much more. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Don't forget to keep coding.